Hey boot campers, it's Andrew Brown. In this video, we're going to be building out the visual novel editor. I actually was working on the JP Mud, but I lost the original video with the guest instructor. That's my fault. And so I have to come back and revisit that application. But what I'm thinking here is that I just want to not go super crazy with this one because my biggest challenge here is like the JP Mud, it's just too dynamic, right? Which is good. But I think what I'm going to do is try to make a visual novel where it's a lot more constrained in terms of what it is. Before I do that, I'm going to just restart my windsurf as that one's a little bit out of date here. And once my windsurf's up to date, I'm going to jump into it. Of course, use whatever you want, cursor, GitHub Copilot, whatever is available to you. But once this is updated, we're going to jump into it, okay? All right, we are up to date. And you know what? I'm actually kind of curious about using Gemini Flash after talking to Rohit. I think that I've put off not using Gemini Flash for so long. It's a great opportunity to see its capabilities. I think it'll do perfectly fine. So there are a couple aspects to this. The idea is that we need a game that is going to display text, right? But we also need to have images and interfaces. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to make a new one. We're going to call this Visual Novel. And I don't know, like maybe I'll use Amazon Canvas because some of the images were totally fine. I would love to use Comfy UI and use like ControlNet and generate out custom images. I just need to set the scope small here, get out of the way, and if there's time, I will go do that, as I think a lot of people would find that really, really interesting. But I'm going to go ahead here, and under the visual novel, I'm going to create a visual novel text specs, as we normally do. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and make this a MD file. I'm going to call this text specs, text specifications. And then under here, we will call this game, like maybe, well, it depends. Like we can start anywhere we want, but we'll just describe the, I'm not sure. I'm going to go over here and just ask, and we'll ask Gemini Flash, which is super fast, but I am writing a text spec to describe how a visual novel video game will work. Can you give me headings I need for my text spec game design? Game concept, target audience, stuff like that. So we're going to go here and we'll say game concept. So the game concept here is where the player can interact with NPCs and other objects to learn Japanese. But like visual novels are not interactive. They have a level of interaction. So the game is a visual novel where the player can interact, where the player can choose your own path. Because that's not, I'm trying to describe that. So like when describing a game concept for the visual novel, I'm trying to describe how visual novels don't have much interaction, or if they do, it's choices, and so it's just a big if-else tree. How do I describe that? Like, I'm not sure. So they go here, limited player interaction. The core revolves around playing through visual text. Company visuals interaction is limited to making choices. These choices then influence the neighbor. So focus on player agency. Okay, so in one paragraph, how do I describe this? Right, pull it down. Okay, but now for the doc. Yeah, I said I don't really like that description though, because anyway, so we're gonna just switch out for a second here. I'm gonna go to Sonnet and we'll just say, okay, try again. Okay, so this one's a little bit slower, but maybe it'll do a bit better job. Okay, just try again here. The gameplay follows a traditional visual novel format where interactivity is deliberately limited to key point decisions. The decision points create a branching narrative, essentially functioning as an if-else programming tree where players' choices determine story paths followed, ultimately leading to different scenarios. This format also focuses on delivering rich Japanese language content while maintaining an engaging story experience. So that's a better definition. So this is where we saw Flash struggling a little bit, but you know, this is more like verbose. So I want to go here and like, okay, great. Can we condense, can we make it more concise and structured? Okay, so I'm just trying to drive it forward a bit more. A Japanese language learning visual novel with minimal interactivity focused on key decision points. The game structure following a branching narrative where player choices determine story path scenarios. The format effectively delivers Japanese language content while maintaining narrative. And so that is, you know, better. I think it's more concise. So this is what we want, right? So I would say game concept. I'm going to go back up to our up here. And so maybe, you know, Gemini Flash, we'll use it for coding, but for now I'm just going to focus on using a more intelligent model for reasoning or thinking here. So we have our game concept, we'll just say target audience, you know, yeah, we'll say Japanese language learners, beginner JLPT N5. That actually sounds good to me. I like that. I think it's probably picking that up from my other parts of my documents. I'm not sure how. We'll go here and we'll say genre. So we need to set it in a specific set. Well, I guess that is that's not really the genre. And say platform, web application, right? So now we'll kind of focus on our, this is the overview here. So say overview. And we'll bring this here. Whoops. Actually, we don't have to do that. We just have to bring this a level like this. And I mean, we don't have to follow this exactly, but we'll go through here. So game concept, target audience, platform. The game concept could describe a little bit more, as that's more like the genre of game, but I don't think it matters that much. So we will continue over here. We have story and settings. And yeah, these visual novels are like, there's games out there that are like Telltale games. You know, they made like those kind of games. They're more like 3D immersive stories with limited choicing, or if there's any choices at all. But it'll be fun here. So story and settings. So synopsis, characters. So we'll set up a location. So we have synopsis, which is kind of I'm going to do setting because I kind of prefer that time period. So the time period is, like, where are we? Where do we want to set our story? We'll say like small town. Yeah, late summer. That's a good idea. I'm going to say small. I mean, like, we're learning Japanese. It'd be very odd if we did it in Canada and people speak English. We'll say small Japanese town, late summer. Okay, and then we'll say characters. So who do we have? Well, we might also want to describe like places that we can go. So where do we have? We have maybe a post office, cafe, could do school, maybe a school, like a private school, language learning school. And then you have your apartment. So you have post office, cafe, private language school, learning school, apartment. I'm trying to think about maybe Kobini, like a corner store. And so we have these four or five locations. We don't want to overdo it here. Let's think of some characters. So give me some character ideas. I guess the other thing is like we can go up here back to setting or we'll say synopsis. Here, synopsis. You are an adult in Japan going to a private language learning school for 1 month to immerse yourself in the language, right? There we go. And like there has to be some kind of like story arc or something. Okay, so we'll have to think about that for a second, but we have you're an adult in Japan going to a private language learning school for 1 month, immersing yourself in there. You know, there is like characters. We have post person, post office clerk. There we go. That's a good thing. We have student 1, student 3, teacher, maybe barista. We also have store clerk, corner store clerk. What else do we have? Post office clerk, student 1, student 3, apartment neighbor. Ah, yeah, apartment neighbor. Apartment neighbor and apartment roommate. So there we go. We have our characters. I would say we'll just make this other person, like maybe we have another student. So this one, we have teacher, we have 2 other students. Okay, so we'll go here and we'll go here. Can we flesh out possible character descriptions with their own subheading for each character? Okay, I'm gonna give it write mode over here. Maybe a bit dangerous, but you know, I need it to be a little bit more intelligent here, so we'll let it do that. I almost kind of feel like going to the reasoning model. I mean, the reasoning is being done on the Windsurf side, so I'm not sure how that kind of interworks with each of them, but we'll see what happens here. And so here we have, it's analyzing the file. Sometimes I don't know why, but it can't, why can't you view it? I don't know why. Sometimes it can't seem to access files. I'm not sure as to why. I don't, can you not access the file? What's your problem? Student 1, student 2, teacher. It's okay. I don't understand. It seems to be working, no problem. And so this actually looks pretty good. I'm going to just go ahead and tweak this a little bit. Okay, we'll go ahead and paste this in here like this. And so now what we have here, so let's take, we have Tanaka Hiroshi, age 45. We have this student, Garcia Carlos, Kim Minji, and Yamato Sensei. Oh, that's a pros click. Okay, Yamada Sensei, Yuki, Kenji. And I would just say, like, for the roommate, can we make the roommate from Canada? Great. And so I'll go back over to here. It doesn't seem to be updating the document here. We'll go ahead and copy this. Great. So now we have some characters here, right? So we go over to here. I wanted to like fill in nationalities here. So personality, role, language level, key interactions, but it's not describing here, you know, what people look like. So, you know, looking at visual text spec, can we describe nationality for each character? And also, what do they look like? Because we are going to need to generate images based on that information. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll let it see if we can update. Let me try to access file again. I don't know why I can't access the file. Okay, now I can see it. I don't know why. So we'll go ahead and let it do whatever it wants here. And you can see like key interactions. It kind of describes like what can happen here. And so I think the thing is like we can just generate out a branching story that we could practice on. But I mean, it'd also be really interesting is if we made an agent again, not trying to blow out scope, but we had an agent for each person, like their own little agent script to role play as them. But we'll see here. So you have post clerk, student 1, student 2. So here we have Japanese, South Korean, Spanish, Japanese, professional woman with a conservative style, hair bun, appearance with dyed hair, piercings, and personalized uniform. Dyed hair piercings, is that common in Japan? I guess so. I don't know why. For some reason, it seems to me like that might be a bit too much. Maybe for a barista, I have no idea. Can we, can we just, because this reading is a little bit hard. Maybe it's less of an issue if we go to this mode here and take a look here. Yeah, maybe that's not a big deal. So let's take a look and see if this is good enough. So we have teachers, teaches player how to send packages by stamps, fill out forms. That makes sense. Another thing we could have done is the bank in here, but we'll not overexpand here. Speak slowly and clearly, uses basic intermediate Japanese, formal, helpful, patient with language learners, helps players learn postal vocabulary. Middle-aged man with short, neatly combed black hair, rectangular glasses, clean shaven, always wearing a crisp postal uniform. Yeah, I guess they have descriptions here, so these are fine enough. I guess now what we need are scenes, right? So we do have different areas. If we go back over to here, so we define the settings, right? So now let's go ahead and expand the settings. Okay, and so I'm going to go here and just say we need to. Notice I had selected this and it's already over here, which is right. So we need to now have subheadings for each area in the town. For each can we create a description because we'll need to use it in a prompt to generate out images. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so it's going to go ahead and update those things. So we'll have those images. We have the people defined. Then we just need to make our images here. And then after that, it's like a big if else statement, right? When we get to coding, we'll switch over to Gemini Flash and we'll see its capabilities. But here we have a small but efficient post office with traditional red boxes outside, interior features, clean counters, organized shelves and stuff like that. Large windows in the natural light in office. So the only thing I would say is like, I noticed with the description for the post office, it's talking about inside and outside. Like these, the description is to produce an image. So, we can't show two locations at the same time, right? It doesn't seem to understand that. So we'll go ahead and do that. And again, we could do a lot more, but I guess these are all basically indoor locations, but we'll see what it comes up with here and then we'll just work with it. So we'll give that a moment there to generate. All right, let's take a look here. So we have a bright, organized Japanese office interior with clean surfaces, organized shelves displayed, forms and packaging materials along one wall, large window let in natural light, illuminated polish, a digital number displays, shows who's next in line. A lot of little details here. The question, will it actually work out when we generate them out? Because we're not going to know until we do that. But we'll find out as we're there. So now we have our locations. We have our folks. We don't necessarily need to have a story at this point. What we need to do is start generating out our images. I guess since we used Amazon, you can see, folks probably could see down here. I really like this song. I've been listening to this song quite a bit recently. It's a Japanese song by a band that's really, really catchy. If you want to take a look here. I don't know. I'm not sure if you ever heard this band before, but they're really fun. But anyway, I'm going to just close out a few tabs here and then get Amazon AWS open here, and we'll get to it. All right, there we go. So I'm now in my developer's account. I'm going to make my way over to Amazon Bedrock. And I mean, really, we don't even need to actually do any coding if we want this to work. Again, if we want it to be dynamic, we might do that later on, but I just don't have confidence in dynamic generation for these things unless there's a thing, and so it's not really necessary. We'll go over to here and we'll select our models, and again, you have to worry about the cost yourself, but I'm not really worried about it. We have Stability AI. We also have Nova Canvas. It might be interesting to compare these two. But anyway, we go down below here. We have different size of images, 16 by 9, that 120 by 720. That's probably okay. Do we need larger than that? I mean, we could always upscale if we had to. 120 by 720. Why does it seem small? Isn't it 1920 by 1080? Isn't that the size we're supposed to have? 1920 by 1080. It's weird. We don't have a. We have that or we have that. We don't have in between. So I'm going to go with the 1024 by 720. It's not a big deal. If we have to upscale, we'll just upscale the image, or we'll go larger. I just don't know what the cost is when we're utilizing this stuff. So I'm going to go over here and, you know, I want to make it clear that this prompt is for this. So like, if I take this, like, okay, so how do I turn the description? I'm going to make a new file here. We'll say folders prompts. Okay, prompts. And we're going to start with another folder here. This will be images. And in here, I'm going to make one for the cafe. Let's say cafe interior. Interior.txt. Okay. And so I'm going to go back over to here. All right. And so we're going to just, I want this to wrap so I can see what I'm doing here. And I guess for now, what we can do is we can just copy this right now as is and see what happens, right? So if I go back over to, where was it? Here. And we drop in, we got create images, that's right. What else do we have? No, that's good. And, oh, the prompt's over here. We put this in here. Let's see what we get. And we said 3 images. I didn't actually specify how much I actually wanted. I have no idea what the cost is. I'm not worried about cost. I don't care, and I don't think it'll cost much, so I'm not that worried about it. We'll go ahead and we'll see what comes out here. And if we like them, that's good. If we don't, we can try the other stability model. Now, we're not optimizing this at all right now. We're just putting in whatever image text we have here. The other thing is that we're not specifying any kind of stylization. And so I would say that these are, this is a modern cafe interior. So we're doing the cafe. And these are actually pretty good, right? Now, we didn't tell it to do any kind of styling here. And I don't know what happens if we don't download them. So I'm going to just download these. And they all actually look pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit download. Okay, so it downloads the zip. And so this will be, I'll just unzip that. And so we'll just bring these into here. So I'm going to go back over into Windsurf. And I'm just going to go make a new folder here called outputs. And I'll make a new one here, a new folder, and this will be, I mean, these are all images, right? I really should name this settings, image scenes, maybe image scenes, or scene images, image scenes. And so here, I'll just go make a new folder and say image scenes. And this here will be Nova Canvas, Cafe, right? So this is my first attempt. So we'll bring these on over here. And those actually look pretty okay, especially since I didn't give it any kind of additional prompting, right? So now I might want this in a different style. So what if we go here? I saw an option here. First of all, like, do I like any of these? Like, that one's pretty good. This is pretty good. They're really trying to make it Japanese. Like, see how they have they might have overdone it, right? Like, yes, it's like this, but would you actually ever go to Japan, and would they actually have these doors and these cafes in the back? So they might have overdone it, right? So here it says a cozy modern with a blend of Japanese weather and sex, etc. So I might just say like in the style of anime, right? I just wonder if we have any options down here. We do not. What if we click into this for a second? And so I'm going to go ahead and click this. And so this will generate another one. So this will be in the style of anime. I didn't spell style right, so that's probably a problem. Because, you know, is there really a difference between this Japanese cafe? Let's go take a look here. And you go here and you go, okay. But, you know, cafes can be really modern too in Japan, right? There's nothing, you know what I mean? Like, look at that. That's just a regular old cafe, right? In an actual location in Japan. You know, but then there's ones that are like, oh, I guess it kind of, yeah. I guess this one kind of has this. That's kind of a touristy one, right? That's cool. That is really, really cool. Okay, so we'll go back over to here. And so now it's in the style of anime, I suppose. And those look pretty good. I mean, they look fine. There's no reason we can't use those. So I don't need all of these, but I mean, we could actually use all of them. There's no reason we can't. So I'm going to go ahead. Is it consistently the same place too? I didn't even realize that. Is that we have this, and then we go here. Here it's on this side, so we have tables here. And then on this side, we have tables there. And then here, you know, I mean, there is some consistency to it. Like, if you told me that these weren't the same, I wouldn't know at a glance, right? Like, you'd have to be really paying close attention to tell. And I honestly cannot tell. Right? So, but we'll go back to the other ones that we had opened up just a second ago, because I can't even remember what they look like, to be honest. And so we go over to here to our images here. Did I not drag them on in here like this? Or do they not just want to drag here? What I don't like is, oh, here is find the folder. They do have it. Nope, they don't. One thing I don't like that they don't have in here is like whenever I want to open a folder, it never goes where I want it to go. Like that's the one thing I wish they, you know, they still had in here. But I will have to, I guess, drag these to my desktop or something. 1 second here. Oh my goodness, I'm having a lot of trouble here with this. Open the zip again. We will extract. I'm just doing this off screen. I'm just trying to extract it anywhere. Extract, sure. The path is too long. So it doesn't like the name of the files. So that's, I guess, one default problem of this is that they name the files like stupidly long. So like, can I just download an individual one, I suppose? So we go here, we'll download. I don't remember what the old ones look like, so I guess it doesn't really matter at this point. And so we have our 3 here, okay? And I'll just say image 1. I'm just renaming them off screen here because they have stupidly long names. Image 2. Image 3. All right, so I'm going to go back over to here. And we will drag these on into here like this. And so that's our prompt. It just has a bit of in the style of anime, right? So we say in the corner, in the style of anime, right? I'm going to go ahead and copy this. I'm going to go back over to here, and we're going to go to Stability AI. So we'll switch the model out to Stability AI. I'm going to paste this in again. It just has the spelling correction here. We'll go generate out again. We'll see what we get. I forgot to change the size, but we'll see what we get, see if it's any good. SDXL is not a new one, so yeah, I mean, yeah, it looks, I mean, you could take the image and then style it later on, which would be fine. But I would say that I actually like the Nova Canvas a lot better there. I think they did a lot better job. I can also just try this in Grok off screen 1 second. Let me go to Twitter for a second. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this here. See if it figures out what I want. I didn't tell it to make an image. Okay, but create the image, right? Create the image. Grok's not that smart. Now let's see what we get. We might get better images, I don't know. And it's going, it's really slow. Okay, these are, I mean, it's fine. The only thing is that it's not in the style of anime. Okay. Okay. But it's in the style of anime for a visual novel, right? So slow, have to help it along. Can make really good images though. But dumb, just so dumb. We'll give it a moment here to generate it. I also have Midjourney, so we could also try it there as well. But again, these prompts aren't very optimized, right? So, and you see here that it's just not. That's kind of a nice image. I like that. There's actually people in this one. That's kind of cool. So that's also kind of interesting. But let's download this one for a second. I actually kind of like this one quite a bit, even though it's not really the resolution. What if we edit with Grok? It didn't really do in the style of anime. So what I'm going to do, because I have Photoshop, let's open up Photoshop. Let's see if we can apply the same image, but bring in the stylization, right? I don't know if it will work, but we'll try. We always have a bit of difficulties here. But I'm just trying to figure out, like, what do I like for images, right? Again, the first ones we generated were fine. There was nothing wrong with them. We could have probably just stuck with that. But I'm going to go ahead and drag this on over here. So now we have this. And you know, I actually quite like this. And you can kind of see some Japanese text here. But I know it was down here. If we go down to here. Style reference. Select from the gallery to choose your own image. I don't know. We could also just do this. And just try here. It's not going to apply the effect, but we'll try here. Say style. Do we have? Where's our anime? Where's our anime? Anime. Does anyone see anime here? Oh, they got that kind of goofy stuff. I'm looking for. Where's anime? Maybe it's effects. Anime. There it is. We'll go ahead and we'll generate that out. We'll see what we get here, right? Because I don't know what we're going to get here. The only thing is it's going to generate a new image. It's not going to stylize this one here. Oh, that's terrible. That is just horrendous. Let's undo that and let's go ahead and see if we can apply a neural filter. That's another thing in Photoshop. Again, if you don't have Photoshop, it's totally fine, but I just want to see we have style transfer. This is what will take a artistic style and transfer it onto something, right? So it just depends if they have it. Image styles, artist styles. Okay, but we don't have anime here. Yeah, I don't know why they just don't do that. This is oh, that didn't really work. This is like ink blot painting. I was just trying it for fun. That does not work. Let's try this. This is also kind of like looks like Japanese ink blot painting. Which also doesn't work. So I'd say style transfer is a failure. You know, is there another way that we could maybe, yeah, so Photoshop's not going to help us out here. So let's say cancel. It's not doing a good job. I'm going to go over here and go to the internet. It's like stylize anime, image to anime, style filter. And maybe there's something out there that can do it for free. Convert photo to AI anime, right? So here's that background. Not exactly what I want in terms of this, but convert photo to anime. We'll go ahead and try this out. If you don't want to, totally fine. Like this stuff, who knows what we're getting into when we do this. But I have this image here. You can see there's some photos of me. I was doing that for thumbnails If we go into our downloads here, we go to image here. Say generate, see if it can do it. Now again, if I set up Comfy UI, I could do this for free. And we go a bit closer here. We'll download that. We'll take a look here. I'm just going to drag it off screen here. No, okay, I'll sign up once. Sure, let's get spammed here. So we'll go ahead and we'll take a look here and see what we have. Yeah, I mean, that's nice too. Though the trouble with this is that it's not going to match whatever the foreground is, but I do like it, right? You can't see the Japanese text anymore, unfortunately, so there's no way of knowing that this is Japanese. But this looks good. The background looks good. So that might be a possible avenue here. I'm not sure. If we were to go over to this one and try again. Right, let's just try another one that says this is epic manga. We have anime up here as if I know the difference here. We'll take a look and see what we get. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, so at least that one worked out. So that's kind of cool. But the challenge is that we really need to have someone in frame here. Yeah, you can see Grok down here below. That's so easy to remove. If we want to get rid of that, it takes 2 seconds. Also, we can kind of, if we don't like the size of this, I can kind of extend it in here. So here we just say generative expand, and then I can get my ratio that I want. So finish, fill in cafe. We'll see if that even works here in Photoshop. There's other things that are not paid that you can do that with, but we're just trying this here quickly. And see what kind of results we get. Seamlessly extended it, which was perfect. So that's good. So I don't know, maybe I'll use Grok for the image generation. I don't know. Let's go back over and take a look at our images that we brought in over here. Yeah. We go here to this one. I don't know, I kind of like this one, to be honest. I think I like what Grok did. So I'm actually going to get rid of these here. And, I think that, again, we can still use that there. But I'm going to go back over to here, and we'll make a prompt for character prompt. So image characters. So now that we have that, let's focus on seeing if we can get this. I'm just going to go ahead and make a new file here, readme.md. This is kind of my research notes. So background image generation. So say Amazon Nova Canvas generated decent images, background images. Grok 3, despite being difficult to prompt, generated very good backgrounds, but would not do them in anime style. It could generate anime style, but I didn't like the stylization. Stylization. And then we had, what was it, SLDX, was not very good at generating images. I don't know if it's free. So, even though Grok 3 has no API, I'll likely generate the scenes, the background images via Grok 3 and maybe apply a styling filter with another service. Okay, so there we are getting our backgrounds. And so clearly Grok 3 is the winner here. So that's what I'm going to do for this one. And then the next thing is to focus on the generation of the characters. So we'll go down to our visual novel specs. And I'm going to go into into the post office clerk. Well, actually, we're focused on the cafe right now. So we'll go down here, Spanish, Shimada. So here, so I'm going to grab this here. And so we'll go back over to this. And we want the Yuki. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to make a prompt here, a file called Yuki, txt. We'll paste it in here. This doesn't feel optimized, so maybe there's a way we can optimize this. So I'll go back over to here. And I'm going to try thinking for fun. We'll just say, how do we... We'll have to yuki.txt. How do we change this so it is optimized to be a prompt for an image generator and for our use case, a visual novel, right? So hopefully it does that. I'm putting the reasoning there. Hopefully it does more reasoning involved. I'm not sure how that works. Shows it right in place. So the current prompt in Yuki is not optimized in image generation. It still needs a format. Let me think about how to optimize that. Specify an art style. Focus on the visual elements. Add technical specifications with portrait framing. So here it says, well, really it's thinking quite good here, surprisingly. So we have converted from bullet points to cohesive paragraph that flows better. Add a character name. Why? Specified portrait type. Close up. Detailed piercings. Added specific tattoo design. Japanese style waves. Oh, did this person have tattoos? Yep, tattoos, okay. Describe uniforms. Added facial expressions. Visual novel art style. Lighting information, studio lighting, soft lights. Focus on visual characteristics. Create a self-contained prompt that gives all the necessary information. The other thing is like, this should work in most things. Grok 3 SCL, SLDX. I don't know if it's SLDX. What is it? We'd have to go back over to SDXL. And so it doesn't even know what it's talking about. It's like, yeah, it'll work. It'll work in that. SDXL. This is SDXL. So, you know, the only thing I'm not sure about this is like, why do we need their name in the prompt? So say accept all. Okay, so why have the name in the prompt? That's what I don't understand. Oh, so some can use consistency. Okay, that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and, let's go ahead and use that prompt then. Now, I wonder if it's going to do it actually in the style of anime. That's my kind of question here, as I don't know if I specified it there, but we'll copy that here. We'll go, I'm going to give Photoshop a go. Photoshop is terrible. We actually didn't also talk about our experience with Photoshop. We'll go ahead and do that. I'm not even, yeah, we could say anime in here, I suppose, effects, anime. Let's just give it a try for fun. I really have no hope for, no hope here for this here. Cool. I mean, technically, yeah. I mean, it's a little bit too much. I like how the third one's a different kind of person. But we'll go ahead and, I mean, I do want to do more with this. So I'll leave it open here for now, or I could just use the size there. But we'll go back over here. We're gonna give a fair shake here to Amazon Nova Canvas, right? So we'll go ahead and copy this. And again, it's fine. Like if you want to, again, programmatically make it, I think it'd be fine to utilize it. But you know, if I'm manually generating these things out, it doesn't really matter, right? So go over to here to Nova Canvas. I'm going to go ahead and hit apply. We'll go ahead and paste this in here. We probably should have negative prompts like don't show hands. That might be something we might want to try after this. This is 16 by 9. We'll go ahead and generate 3 images, right? So we'll see what comes out here. The thing is, I don't want a background. You can also just say like remove background after the fact, but like no background. and no hands. We'll see what comes out here. Not bad. A few problems though. We have a background, so I don't want a background. Before we move on to that, I'm going to try Grok, okay? Because I want to see how Grok handles it. And I also don't know if Grok costs money or not. I have probably a paid version, so that's probably why. So I'm going here and saying generate image. And we'll see what comes back here in just a moment. Coming back over to here, I would say I actually like the, this is terrible here. I actually like the job that, I'm sure we could get better results with Grok, but I think this actually did a better job, right? So I don't have a way to do negatives here. I don't really like this. I can go just here, just say like, make sure you're cutting off, the image is cutting off the head. The whole head should be in frame. No background. Okay, let's see if we can adjust that. I really don't like that style either. Not very good. So we'll see if Grok can fix that, but I don't have high hopes for Grok on this side here. So I'm going to say background. So we can feed this back into here. And so I don't like these. Those kind of look not appropriate. They have like an American flag on here, which is a bit bizarre. We go back over to here. Still cutting the head off, right? Still cutting the head off. I don't know why. And also, is this a guy or a girl? Does it say? I don't think they're gendered. Let's go back here. Are they gendered at all, these characters? Okay, so I'm gonna go back here and say, can you make sure that all the characters have a gender? Have a gender, male or female? In their character descriptions. So go ahead and do that. Give it a moment here. Now, that's why it'd be fun to use Comfy UI, because in Comfy UI, you can get really, really good like styling results. And there's so many kind of things you can download. We'll only do that if I have time after this, but we want to just, again, focus on this generation here and see what we get. So we'll give it a moment. And okay, so now we're getting some genders here. That's going to help a little bit better here. Great. Okay, so now. Okay, so now let's update the Yuki to include. Did it get the right Yuki? I notice when generating the image, it's cutting off their heads out of frame. In visual novels, the composition doesn't normally cut off their heads. Okay, so I don't know how to better describe that, but we'll go ahead and do that. I think that's a really hard thing to describe, is the shot there. So let me check the current content file for the video. And since we can't generate consistent characters, at least through these things, it'd be very hard to fix that stuff. And that's why we would need something like a Comfy UI to really get what we want. I'll do the prompt for Yuki to include her gender, ensure composition doesn't cut her head off. Um, I'm also going to ask it if it can produce a negative prompt. You know, can we add below separated by a empty line the negative prompt? Because that might help. Another thing I noticed is that the background was being generated. We need no background so that we can layer the images. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna go back over to here. So we have a negative prompt. Bad hands, out of frame, low quality, missing legs, things like that. So you can see that it's definitely improving the stuff here. And so now we have a positive and a negative prompt, right? So I'm going to just go and do word wrap here so it's a bit easier. So now that we have that, we'll go back over to here and we'll go to here and I'll place this in here. And then we'll go back to here. And we'll put in our negative prompt, right? Okay, we'll paste that in, we'll hit run. And now we'll see what happens, right? So I'm hoping get a little bit more consistent results. The other thing is like we're not really saying like where they're lined up in the image. While we're looking at that, let's just take a look at, they're still cutting it off. Like, why do they keep cutting it off? Why do they keep cutting it off? I don't understand. The other thing is like, it's not very anime. Like it looks fine. I don't know why they're giving the, I guess when you start to get tattoos, you start getting really bizarre things. I don't know why they have to make them so purpley. Anime, visual novel art, clean lines, vibrant colors. Maybe like flat coloring. I'll try this one more time because it's way too much detail. Also, did it generate the background again? Like it's ignoring me about the background thing. This is where I want comfy UI. But again, we will do the best we can with what we have. We'll focus on finishing it. And yeah, I'm not sure what to tell you. It's not listening really. It's not really, like it looks good. It's just not the style. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead here. I'm going to try it again over in here. Say new image prompt. Right, and maybe my failures here is trying to make it look like anime. Because it doesn't have to be anime, it could just be realistic looking folks, right? Yeah, we'll see what we get. Oh, this looks crude. This is like bad style drawing. Okay, so that is, I mean, some kind of anime. Looks like they got they farmed DeviantArt for their generation of images. So go back here and it's like, okay, can we just remove anime reference out of Yuki because I can't get good anime generation. So can we just make the image hyper realistic instead? Okay, and so we'll do that. And I have a feeling that we'll get better results as these models are probably trained on real people. I have a feeling now Grok might outperform that. It wasn't really working for me. And like it's okay, but I don't know. I need consistency across characters, and that's where I think I'm going to run into problems, but we'll see. So we'll go back over to Windsurf here. We now have our new description. We'll say accept all. And I'm just going to ignore the negative prompts. I mean, I'll leave in the other ones we already have because I can't seem to fix that anyway. There's no poorly drawn. There's nothing to do with that. So we'll take that out. Obviously, these things should not happen anyway, but we'll go ahead and we'll paste this in and we will see what we get. I'm going to go back over to Grok and we'll try again. Where did Grok go? I have lost Grok, which is fine. I'll bring it on back over here. Generate image. We'll go here. And we'll see which one's better. And, you know, worst case, if their heads are cut off, I'll just extend them in Photoshop. There we go. Looks like a person. Yep. These results are way better. The background's also really good too, but it seems almost like I should just take it with the background. I actually like that it blurred the background. That's actually smart. Normally when you go in these games, it's not blurred, and then when the person appears, it blurs the background to give them focus. Holy smoke, that's realistic. Holy smoke, hold on. Wow. I don't know, this is hard. It did also make the backgrounds blank here. Wow. I don't know, they're both really good. They're both real looking. I like how like here it's in here, but then it's over like that for some reason. Then we go over to this one. I'm not sure what's all the crazy flags, but if you're like a language school, it'd be kind of cool to have all those there, right? So, we'll go with the first one. The first one looks, I would say, more realistic. So we'll go ahead and we'll download it. I wonder if we can edit this. No, I don't think that's going to work. I'm just going to bring it into Photoshop. I think this is the one I just downloaded here, so we'll bring this over here into Photoshop. It's going to be really the only way. So I think I'm going to just stick with Grok because the photo generation is great. Again, I wanted anime as the style, but I think I'd have to bring in custom models for that. That's not it that we just downloaded here. I'm going to make sure date modified here. Just trying to get the latest date here. It's this image. There we go. And so this person's head's obviously cut off. I need this in a 16:9, so I'm going to go over to here. File, new, and I'm going to go 1920 by 1080 is usually the general screen, 1920 by 1080. That's what I actually wanted, right? We'll bring this background image over here like this. We'll drop it into here. I'm going to scale it up. I do not care if I lose a bit of quality while doing that. That's totally fine. And then I'm going to remove the watermark. So we'll go ahead and remove watermark. As if at this point, like, watermarks even matter anymore. You could just remove them when you want. Doesn't take that long. I could remove it faster with a tool than use the generation here. It's really thinking hard to do that. And so that's now gone. That's perfect. We're going to merge that down. Again, you know, if you don't have Photoshop, that's fine. Just work with what you got. So I'm going to go here and I want to extend the background. The only thing is that this one, I didn't mean to fully merge down. I'm going to go here and just put this here as I need a layer to kind of move around on here, right, like this. And so what I want to do, I need to extend the photo. So like, say, go here, fill in the rest. Fill in the rest of the cafe. It normally doesn't do a good job this way. I just have to just manually extend out. But I'm not sure I'm going to do that if I have to drag it out, which is kind of a problem. And there we go. That's extended. So now we actually have a few options here. Let's see what we got. This one looks like the least amount of problems. So now we have our first background. There we go. So I'll go ahead and save this as, I'll save for web. As this is going to be displayed in the web, save for web. I'm not sure how big this image is. It is, we'll probably make it a JPEG, so it's a bit easier to work with. So it's 1.9, that's way too big. We'll go down. Oh, can we do web format here? Oh, Oh, no, no, that won't work at all. We'll go over to JPEG here and notice that the image is drastically smaller, but still looks really good. So we'll go ahead and save that. And I'm going to save that into my folder for this project. And so we'll say that's the first one done. So I wasn't sure if I get a result that I liked, but apparently I can with a lot of work though. And I'm just looking for my local repo here. I'm just doing this off screen. So I'm looking for sites. Then I need my GenAI. This is Omen King. Free GenAI Bootcamp. And then I'm going to JP Mud. Nope, this is Visual Novel. And so outputs, we'll call this Cafe. So this one is actually good. I'm happy with that background, okay? So now we need to bring in Yuki. Is that her name, Yuki? So we'll go ahead and I actually just want to drop it in again because I want it to scale correctly. And so I'm going to bring this image in over here like this. And so I don't really have the whole body, right? So usually when you have this stuff, they're framed up a certain way. The background should get removed, which is a bit silly. We'll do this, and I need to remove the background. The background shouldn't be there. Okay, and so now I need to extend this image, right? So we'll go here, and this one's fine. We'll merge this down here like this. And so now I need to flatten this image. Do that again. And so now let's extend the image. So, finish, fill in rest of head, purple hair. Okay. Hopefully it can do that. I really hope it can do that. Backgrounds are one thing. People are another story. No, not really. I wonder if I can go back to Grok and try to get it to generate out the rest. Okay, so copy image, post image, edit. Can you expand the image so there is more portrait? So yeah, the image is great, but I don't have this. I don't know. It's so darn hard to get this shot here. They keep cutting their heads off. They keep cutting their frickin' heads off. I don't understand. Let's go back to this. This isn't working. This one's not working. I think maybe the reason why is it depends on how much headspace you gave it. I didn't give it a whole lot of headspace. So let's try this again here. Whoops. With Photoshop. You see this stuff is just really tricky. And so we'll just say fill in rest of head. Okay. So even if you don't want to use, I don't know, it's just hard. Are you I'm gonna share that because that's ridiculous. All right. Fill in rest of head with purple hair. I don't know what it's thinking there. Another thing I'm thinking of is maybe just extending it another way. What is going on? What is going on here? I'm sharing this in the Discord. It's good this is not working. So sometimes when I have these issues with Photoshop, and this is again playing around with these things, this one's not working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out. We'll get this out of here. We'll take this out of here. And so sometimes the solution's a bit easier than what you think. What we do is we go over to our downloads and we're going to bring in our image again. I'm looking for that image. Where is my image? Is this one here? There we go. I'm just going to bring it right into Photoshop. And maybe if someone finds out a better software to extend this stuff that's less of a problem, I'd love to know. And it's not opening the image. I'm not sure why. We'll try this again. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend it here like this, right? And then I'm going to extend it here like this. And I'm not giving it any information. I'm just saying generate expand. And so here, it should have an easier time doing this. Why, I don't know, but it probably will have an easier time. We'll go ahead and try that out. But even we get this one image generated out. Generate expand, fill in rest of person, right? Normally this is like what I would do and then I get better results. But if this doesn't work, I'll have to see if I can extend an image somewhere else. You know what? Isn't that weird? Like I use extend and then there's no problems, right? That's perfect. I'm not sure with all the bracelets here, but we'll go ahead. And that one's fine as well. I'm not sure how they would be kneeling here, but that's totally fine. Yeah, okay, so there we go. Again, not sure with all the bracelets. The bracelets are kind of unusual, I think. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll go with it. I mean, we can always just remove the bracelets. This is also the next hard part. So I'll go here and merge this down. And then I'll just say like remove bracelets. Let's just say remove bracelets. Okay. I like how the flags are like, what are these buttons? These buttons don't look like anything. We'll see if we can get rid of those. The finger's kind of messed up here. It'll probably get cut off though. Okay, we'll try again. Remove bracelets from arms. I know there's like an open source library we could use for this that I was using before, Omni something. OmniGen? OmniGen. And this you can run on your computer. What you can do is you can give it kind of like this and feed it like that and tell it to merge things. And this is where you can kind of get more consistent characters. It might be fun to try that out if we have some time. But right now, I can't get it to get rid of the stuff there. It just will not get rid of it. So this is our character here. I'm not sure. It's going to just keep extending it out this way. So I might go ahead and just extend a bit more. We'll just keep extending the body. So fill in rest of body. Also, why is this part cut off? Oh, I guess it just generated out whatever could generate out, right? I'm not sure if I want them in like that. That'd be kind of strange. Wearing black pants. It's a little bit like shorts are fine. I guess it's summer. It is hot, but they really want giving them bracelets here. Okay, there we go. That's kind of okay. That makes sense. That actually makes sense. Okay, great. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, so that I will accept. We will now extend out this way. It's a nightmare doing this. It might have been less time to set up Comfy UI and set up all these things to get it to work than to do this. So generate expand. Fill in rest of person. It's just like, what is it going to generate next? We never know. But, you know, there's ways that we could like fix the perfections. That'd be really nice. I mean, I have Photoshop here, so no, that's kind of weird. That's okay. Yep, good. I'm just gonna keep going here. That one's good. So we're gonna generate a more like generate out rest of leg. One character, by the way. Generate out fill in rest of person. So maybe I'll just be like more undescript here because sometimes it has an issue here. So fill out rest of person. I think what's happening there is it thinks I'm trying to do something weird or bad, and so that's why it fails as that prompt happens. But yeah, anybody finds anything else, that'd be really cool to find out. That's strange. That's strange. Oh my God, stop making the legs longer. Okay, and then again, almost got the legs here. Generate out rest of leg. Generate rest of person. I'm not putting legs because it seems to complain about that. Uh-huh. I like how like that pant leg is bigger than that one. This one's close enough. So I'll go ahead here and we'll merge this all the way down to the ground. I'm kind of tempted to know. I'm going to go ahead and just, now let's remove the background. Can we do that? Remove the background. Before I do that, what I want to do here is I just want to see if can I like change them from sitting. Here's a question. In Japan, do they let them sit when they're working? Is that like a, because like in Germany, I know like if you go to the grocers, they have seating. In North America, they don't give them a seat. But do other places do the same thing or not? I don't know. So that is not standing. That is not standing. That is not standing. None of these change them from sitting to standing. So maybe just change like cancel. We'll cancel that out. And this is no good. We don't want that. This doesn't work. And so I'm going to try this again. And we'll say person standing. Maybe because it saw the word sitting and got confused, right? Incredibly hard. This again, making control net with poses and other stuff might be easier. There's other ones out there. Different kind of pose. On a balcony, that's kind of cool. That actually makes a lot more sense. Wow, that's no good. This one's actually kind of okay. I kind of like that one, but because like if they're at a counter, right, that actually make a lot of sense. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna leave that in here. Let's go bring this out of here, right? And so now we're kind of getting something a little bit different. It seems like I should have been done this a while ago, but no, I'm still going. And so we'll change this to a counter. Like, can we change that to a counter? So, or we could also just say remove the railing. Remove the railing. Such a roundabout way to get what you want, but that's just how it works, right? Okay. So now this kind of works because now they are, I mean, their hands are gone. But we'll go back over to this one. So yeah, we're going to be playing this all day long here. Also, their arms are kind of merging together. I think our best bet is this one. So I'm going to go with this. And we're going to just go ahead and remove the background the best we can here. Hopefully it does an okay job. Yeah, it's kind of okay. We'll go ahead and clean that up a bit. So we'll go ahead and I'll merge this down. We will just wipe this out of here. It got rid of their chair, which is fine. I guess that doesn't really matter. And I'm going to go ahead and grab Yuki. We'll bring her on over here and we'll see if we can fit her in. And we might have been playing a little bit too much with this to get this the size we want. But now you can see like she's sitting here, hanging out, having a good time. How she's sitting makes no sense, but it's totally fine. It's totally fine. As it was a lot of work to get this to work here. And so I do want to get out some trouble areas here. Again, you know, if you don't have Photoshop, you're not gonna be able to do this, obviously. So selection lasso tool. So we'll go ahead and I don't want that, but I just want our regular lasso tool or select tool. What happened to the old selection tool? Everything is magical now. And so I just want to get out this little area here. No, that's not it. Lasso tool. How do I, there used to just be a magic wand. There it is, magic wand. There we go. There we go. And There we go. So they're now integrated into the scene. There. So now we got Yuki. She's in there. And so I would just say, I want her exactly like this. I'm going to grab it just like this, right? And I don't want it in any other format. And so we'll go ahead. Actually, I'll just go ahead and take out the background here. And so now we should be able to save Yuki on her own layer. So we'll go ahead and say save as. I'm also just save this in temporarily to my desktop. This will just be Visual Novel. And so now we're starting to kind of get a workflow here. Of course, if you're doing this, you got to take a completely different approach to it. But we're going to go ahead. I'm going to save this as PNG. Whoops. Export as here. And this actually has to be a PNG because I need that transparent background. It looks like it's putting a background in, though. What's going on here? I want this to be transparent. I think it's because it's like an artboard. I normally don't make things artboards. Can we drag this out of an artboard here? Get out of here, artboard. I don't know how the artboard's adding this background here. Here it is, transparent. There we go. Whoops. And so now I can go back here, and we will export for legacy here. And we'll go to 24. And so now we have novel outputs. This will be Yuki. Okay, so I don't know if I want to bother you with all the other ones. I can just generate those out on my own time here. But now we have 2 images that we can work with. And so the next step is really to code the logic for the visual novel. So I might generate out one or 2 more images here just so we have more than one setting here. But it's a start, right? But you can see it's the best I can do with what we have. So I'll be back in just a moment in the next video.